Curlyfrys, come join me on my opening bar shift at Seasons52. So the first thing you want to do, of course, is clock in to that system so you get paid. And I'm going to go ahead and put my things away. I just checked how much I made the day before, and it gives you that receipt. Then I'm going in pushing all the bar stools, which there are 32 of them. And the reason we push them in is because the night before the person would mop. Not us, but there's someone who comes to mop the entire restaurant. And turning your TVs on and setting up the bar. So you want to get all your tools in place, such as the spill mats, your bar equipment, your shakers, strainers, muddlers, spoons, everything necessary for your shift for the day. I did want to make a side note. I no longer work at this restaurant, and that's just because I decided I just wanted to do a career change, as well as focus on myself, focus on my YouTube, focus on my bubbies, and yeah. So I almost worked here for about a year, but it ended up being a lot for my body. I definitely would say for anyone getting into this business, I applaud you. It is very tedious, very strenuous on the body, especially because I would majority of the time do doubles, which means I would come in at 10:45 in the morning, which is when our shift starts, and then almost leave majority of the time by 12. So imagine doing that 5 times at least a week. It gets exhausting. But anyway, so here I am setting up the bar with the juices, anything that could be used for from the night before for the next day. We would, of course, save whatever could be used. And for our tools, and now I'm just walking around the bars making an inventory of everything I'm gonna need to get from the kitchen. I'm so sorry I folded. I could have sworn I did get a video in the kitchen, which would have been really cool for you guys to see, or I would think is really cool, but again, I folded. So now I'm just setting up all the batches for our toppings. So I always would make extras. The morning shift person is pretty much going to be setting up for their shift as well as the night shift. So what that entails is making sure we have all the batches for like sour mix, because we make it in-house, and then any of our cocktail recipes that need to be batched we would do in the morning. So I'm cutting up everything that I need, as well as for the night person shift what they would need, and I would pretty much do that. A little fun fact: Seasons52 stands for 4 seasons, so we would have 4 different menus per season. We would have a winter, summer, spring, and fall menu. And then 52 would stand for 52 wines by the glass. But after COVID, they did narrow it down to, I think, 30. And this was in 2022. So I don't know if they opened it back up to the 52 bottles by the glasses by the bottle, which is freaking insane to remember and trying to explain to people what these wines would taste like. But yeah, that is what Seasons52 stands for, and we would take certain things out of the menu for certain menus and then bring it back, and then sometimes it just never would come back. But overall, they do switch out their items. And look at me stealing cucumbers. I would constantly eat the cucumbers and the olives. Those were my weakness. So as a bartender, I was definitely a bit of a stealer, and here I am again. Don't judge. So personally for me, I really did enjoy bartending over serving, just because, I don't know, it was a comfort spot. because I had a counter to kind of keep distance from people, where I feel like I'm on a showroom when I'm in front of a table. I don't know, that's just my personal opinion. Serving is definitely a great way to make quick money, and of course you get the money right away instead of having to wait for a paycheck. I would definitely suggest bartending to anyone who does live with their parents. If I knew about bartending way before, I would have started so much sooner than I did. I think I started bartending at 21 because of course I was 21 years old and I was like, oh, let me get into this atmosphere. I don't know what made me think about it at one point, but I ended up doing that. But if I knew about it maybe at 18, or if I was able to do it at 16, I would have definitely did it. And personally, I think everyone should at least once in their life have a requirement to be in the service industry, because you end up gaining a lot of respect and also being more compassionate and understanding to what these people go through on a daily. But anyway, getting back before I start on a whole spiel, this is our cucumber basil smash drink, and it has cucumber vodka, lime juice, white cranberry juice, and simple syrup if you wanted to go ahead and try making it. And all you have to do is shake it up after this. Then you want to top it with a basil. So this drink here is going to be our pomegranate margarita, which clearly has a shit ton of alcohol, and then most likely a splash of our pomegranate sour mix. And realistically, it was probably because it was me. I put a lot of tequila. But this drink is sour mix and then a splash of pomegranate juice if you wanted to go ahead and make that on your own. Of course, some tequila and triple sec as well. And we also, as bartenders, would serve tables, especially when it was slow. We would get like a 2-section table, which was the most comfortable I was with regular serving. But pretty much bartending is serving and plus making drinks, so I kind of felt like I was getting the best of both worlds because I wasn't constantly bored, whereas if a server was bored, they would have to do like busy work, which is like polishing, cleaning, this, that. I just rather make drinks, and I also did like the craft of it. So bartending is pretty much like cooking, but instead you're mixing cocktails, aka cooking drinks, quote unquote. And those tickets would let me know exactly what it is that people ordered if you didn't know what or how the process went. So there's service bartending and then there's bartending. Bartending is pretty much taking care of guests is what we call them, or you would be taking care of customers. And then service bartending is you're going to be in the well, which is the station with the ice, the juices, and just standing there making all the drinks for the whole entire restaurant. So because I was working here during their fall menu, this was their apple bourbon drink. I forgot exactly what it was called, but it has apple juice, which made it the apple bourbon. And whiskey, you can use whatever whiskey you want. It has lime juice, simple syrup, and an orange, I don't know how to say that word, the bitters, and ice. So you would either get a 9-ounce glass of wine or a 6-ounce, and the 6-ounce is going to be directly in the bottle, and I would hate when that would happen. It's like you pour the wine and you're short by a little bit, so you have to open a whole new wine when you can just like give it to them, and now I put a little too much. And then the beers, there wasn't that many beers, thank goodness, because that would be way too much if I need to remember all the beers and the wines. Like, eek! Before any of you beer fans come for me, I know that was a terrible pour. It should have more foam than that. But yeah. Also, Seasons52 had something called wine flights, and it's pretty much little tasters of different wines or our different cocktail mixes. And yeah, those were always so fun to make. Joking. Cutting these strawberries is part of one of our batch drinks, which was the strawberry basil infusion, and it was a martini, actually really good. And we would have to, of course, slice up these strawberries one by one, cut them in half so that they would actually infuse, and then pour in 2 1-liter bottles of vodka. And I would usually do this at the end of my shift because it's very tedious and you need to have time to do it, so I would pretty much wait until the next person came so that I could do this. And then my closing part, the closing of my shift is getting bottles, and also getting bottles, restocking anything that the next person needs, and then that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.